Hi there, YouTube. 5 months ago, I took cuttings of a lot of the roses in my gardens and just tried to propagate them. The only thing that I did was I placed them in a bottle of water and just let them sit in super bright lights underneath my grow light. Within 2 to 3 months, I started to see roots form in the water, and so I potted them up into these solo cups, which, as you can see, the roots have now reached the bottom and they are starting to wrap around themselves on literally every single one of my cuttings. So I think it's time to up pot these roses. While I up pot these, I just wanted to give you guys a few tips on propagating roses. I have 3 different size large containers here. These are the only 3 large containers that I had that were clear. I wanted to be sure to use something clear so that I could see the roots develop on these. If you guys see any little white dots on the leaves or anything, that is from Captain Jack's dead bug. These had spider mites for a little bit. They don't have them anymore, thank God. But I went ahead and treated them, and it does leave a bit of a residue on the leaves. When I potted these up, I potted them up into straight coconut coir, and it worked really, really well. There's no perlite in this. There's no extra drainage in this. I just wanted to make sure to keep these cuttings extra moist, and so by having something that's a little bit denser for a potting medium, I think worked out really well for me because these are really nice little size rose plants. I mean, like, some of them are branching out and creating little bushes of their own already. I'm so excited to have some additional roses to plant in the garden this spring/summertime. I mean, look at all those healthy roots. The first tip that I would give when propagating roses is take way more cuttings than what you think you need if you're going to use water propagation, because a lot of my cuttings literally just rotted in the water. And the reason is because it takes a really, really long time for rose cuttings to start to produce roots compared to other plants. So my rose cuttings took about 2 months for me to start seeing roots on them, and most plants propagate within weeks, literally. Normally 6 weeks is about the max amount of time that I've had for a cutting to take root. Normally things root pretty fast in water. Because roses take some time, it gives you more time for those rose cuttings to rot in the water. And if you're not good about changing out the water, which I am not, I'm the first person to admit I may have changed my water twice in that whole 2 to 3 month time frame that they were in water. Literally only changed it twice. I did add a little bit of hydrogen peroxide to try to solve, there was a little bit of green algae growing on the glass container that I used. If I would have used something dark, that would have probably prevented the algae. That's another tip. Maybe try rooting them in something that's like a dark glass container, maybe like an amber glass. I think that that would help keep down algae and keep your water a little bit cleaner for longer, maybe prevent some rotting, but definitely take more cuttings than what you need, because you're not going to end up with every single one rooting, in particular with roses, because they do take so long to propagate. And I wouldn't want you guys to take cuttings and you only have like a very finite window to take cuttings. You know, like you want to take them before the plants go super dormant and before the end of the growing season, honestly, before you start to experience frost. So if you don't take enough cuttings, you can end up in a situation where all your cuttings rot and then you don't have any cuttings. That looks so good. I cannot wait to see this root out this entire large Wendy's cup. It's just so exciting to create plants from plants that you already have, just to fill in your garden. My second tip is to make sure to give them as bright of light as you possibly can. I did an experiment where I tried to root some of my cuttings in my window upstairs, which is a south-facing window, and it does get really good light, but it's not anything compared to my grow lights in my grow room. Some of my grow lights are incredibly bright, and I noticed that the ones underneath my grow light rooted way faster than the ones in the window. So the more light that you give them, the faster they're going to root. The ones that were up in my window took a lot longer to root. They took like 4 months to root. I actually have some cuttings in there that aren't ready to be potted up yet because they were from upstairs where I had them in front of the window. So make sure to give them as bright of light as you possibly can when you're trying to root these rose cuttings. I know it sounds a little bit counterintuitive because you're only trying to root them. You're really not trying to grow anything at that point, but cuttings do need light. Oh my gosh, this rose has so many thorns. like, look at all those roots. I'm so proud of this. And like, that's a nice sized plant already. I can't imagine what it's gonna be like in May when I actually plant these. Looking good. I guess my next tip would be aware of pests. My rose cuttings got spider mites at least twice, and I noticed them from like a small fine amount of webbing, and you could see little dots moving around in the web. That's how you know that it's spider mites. Spider mites can be hard to get rid of because they can become resistant to the treatment that you're using. So I alternated between using isopropyl alcohol mixed with water, and then I also used Captain Jack's Dead Bug, and I alternated the treatments, and that's what finally got rid of the spider mites. But they were there for a solid week and a half, and I was doing multiple applications of treatments before getting rid of them. So I would just say that rose cuttings are kind of susceptible to spider mites inside, or at least mine were, and nothing else in my grow room had spider mites. It was literally just these cuttings. So I would just give you guys a word of caution. Be sure to stay up and, you know, check on your rose cuttings. Make sure to actually visually inspect the leaves, because spider mites are like easy to miss. Like they're kind of one of those things where by the time you notice them, they're already kind of out of control. Because they're so small, the webbing is so fine that you can easily miss them by just like watering your plants and not actually doing a visual inspection of them. So I would definitely recommend keeping an eye on your rose cuttings for pests. And the last thing I would say about rose cuttings as far as propagating them and turning them into full-size plants as fast as possible is you want to fertilize your rose cuttings. Roses are heavy, heavy feeders, and I have been fertilizing mine with Fox Farm Grow Big, which is a fertilizer that promotes leafy growth and not a lot of blooms, which is what I want. I want this to be producing roots and leaves, not blooms at this point. And none of my rose cuttings have bloomed, and they've all kind of branched out and started to produce full shrubs, which I am loving. But I think that if you weren't to feed these, they would grow really, really slow indoors because they are really, really heavy feeders. And that's another rose looking good. Oh yeah, let me show you guys what a rose cutting looks like when it's about to start rooting, because it's really interesting. So this is a glass jar that I have 2 rose cuttings in. You wanna make sure to do a cutting that's about 8 inches long. Longer the better, because you have more of a surface area to go inside of the water, but you wanna make sure to have some portion of your cutting above the water. You don't want it completely submerged, obviously, but I'll show you guys what it looks like when they are about to start forming roots. Towards the bottom of the cutting, you're gonna notice this nodule right here. Every rose cutting will develop what I call a callus, which is this like white, bumpy node that happens at the very bottom of the cutting. And from that is where all your roots will come from. I have a second cutting here. If you can look at that, right there, you see a little white dot? That is a root starting to come in off of that callus. Also, another thing that you might want to do when you take your rose cuttings out of your water, just to like look for roots or anything, is take off anything that is nasty. Like there's this like little bit that's turned black and mushy. Just go ahead and take that off. Take off anything that's rotting, because it will just make your water murkier, make it more prone to infection, make it more likely that you'll lose the cutting. But yeah, I'm just gonna shove those back in, and it'll develop a callus probably 2 to 3 weeks prior to forming roots. One of these roses is gonna get quite an up pot, because this is the smallest clear container I could find that was still bigger than a solo cup. So anyways, let me go ahead and explain to you guys one other thing that's been going on with me. If you guys have been following my channel for a while, you know that I've had some health problems. I was bleeding and I couldn't figure out why. Turns out I need to have colorectal surgery. So it seems like I'm going to have a consultation for that in early February, and the surgery will probably happen 2 weeks after the consultation, probably. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that I'm probably gonna be out of pocket for quite a bit of February. And the end of this month as well, because I have family coming in. They'll actually be here this week, which is why last week I didn't post anything either, because I had to get my house in order. My house was filthy. Well, it wasn't filthy, but like I hadn't cleaned the carpets in a while. Like there's just a couple things. I needed to clean the car. I needed to dust everything, you know, the normal, like you're gonna have company over and you need to clean. Our house isn't the smallest house in the world, so it takes us a bit of time to clean it. And yeah, so last week has been all cleaning, and last week and this week has been all cleaning and like getting the house all ready for my family. And then after that, I probably will be recovering from surgery. The recovery time depends on what type of surgery I have to have. I'm not exactly sure what type of procedure I have to have yet, because there's like 3 different things that they can do to fix what's going on with me. So the least invasive one is only supposed to have a recovery time of about 2 weeks, but the more invasive one can take like months to recover from, which is kind of scary for me, because we're going right into seed starting season and I want to be well enough to at least take care of my seedlings. But yeah, so we're just going to play this by ear, because, you know, you can't really control when health problems show up or when you have to get them fixed. And yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. If I disappear for a little bit, that's where I am. Yeah, I hate that. I truly do, because I felt like I had so many things prepared for this growing season coming up, and I just have a feeling I'm gonna have to like slow things down, pare things down. I just have this like gut instinct that that's what's gonna have to happen. I'm hoping not. Hopefully I'll just get the least invasive surgery and it'll only take me 2 weeks to recover and everything will go perfectly. And we can both laugh at this and be like, you didn't take any time off at all, or like barely any. But I just have a feeling I'm gonna be out for a couple of weeks at least, and it could potentially be like a whole month. Luckily, my partner, Matt, said that he will be doing the seed starting for me as long as I give him instructions. That kind of gives me a little bit of nerves, because I am a bit of a control freak when it comes to gardening. I'm the one with all the gardening knowledge. He doesn't have much of it. I think he'll be a tremendous help, but it's still nerve-wracking when you like are really passionate about something, you put a lot of work into it, and it requires like special expertise to keep it up, like a garden. You just kind of have to like put things in other people's hands and hope for the best, and know that things will happen that you would not have done, and just kind of give people grace, because I mean, I could have a partner that didn't want to help me at all, you know what I mean? So I'm really grateful to have a partner who will step in and help, but I'm not gonna lie, it still gives me nerves, because this is my baby, this is my garden, and seed starting, there's just a lot that can happen, and at least I'll be able to be like over his shoulder a bit during all of this, is what I'm hoping, so that I can control the amount of mistakes that happen. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this short little video. I'm so excited to have some extra rose shrubs that I didn't have to pay for. It's always good to go into your garden, take cuttings right before the end of the season, start growing them on, because plants are expensive. Like, these roses in particular are like $35 each. So that's $140 in plants just right here, which is kind of insane to think about. It's kind of insane. But yeah, you can save a lot of money by taking cuttings of your own things. It also will encourage you to have rhythm and repetition in your garden, because you'll have repeated elements. You'll have things that you've propagated again and again and again. And that can make a garden seem a little bit more cohesive. I feel like when people just get every plant in the book and then they throw it in their garden, it can be beautiful, but it can also look like a lot. Sometimes when you have something repeated, it just kind of makes it more cohesive and looks better. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this little video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you took any rose cuttings. Let me know if you took any cuttings, period, and what was the thing that you took cuttings of that you're most proud of? Like, you're like, ooh, I saved a bunch of money taking cuttings of that. That was super easy. Let me know, because we all can use some inspiration on more things to take cuttings of and more ways to save money in your garden, because gardening can be very, very expensive very fast. It is not missed on me at all that I'm incredibly privileged to be able to garden at the level that I do. And if there's any way that I can help more people access gardening for cheaper, I'm all about it. So leave some comments in the comment section. Let us know what you're taking cuttings of. And I'll see you guys around for whatever video I come up with for next time. Bye, guys. And literally, just like that, we have $140 worth of roses. That's literal insanity, to be 100% honest, to look at that and be like, yep, that's $140 bucks. But it truly is $140 bucks.